So here you are, you have done a lot of soul work and you're trying to start over in this twin flame journey because we all have went through a lot of the darkness and we've cleared a lot of shadows and now we're seeing the light. So you're trying to set intentions to determine what that new you is going to look like, moving beyond some of these limitations that have been attached to a person that has blocked you from really finding yourself. And you're willing to put in the work because you've already done a lot of work and you know how to make things happen. But when it comes to the next level of what is next, you're dragging your feet because you're halfway there and you're not sure what is next. So this Fresh Start series that I've put together is to help you overcome those limitations so that you can move beyond this stuck feeling with ease and grace and love for yourself. And more often than not, the reason you're not moving forward is because you're not seeing the progress of what is next and you're focusing on too much of the past and the patterns. And what this boils down to is one thing. You are afraid of what the unknown is and what is next. So stay tuned in this video because I'm going to share with you the top 6 fears that is limiting you from moving from where you've been to embodying who you're becoming. Hello, fellow flames. In case we haven't met, my name is Dr. Harmony, and I will help you live fearless, live loved, and live free. If you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome back. Make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you know when all my videos and content come live. Today we're going to talk about 6 fears that is blocking you from moving forward to the best version of yourself. And that way you can tap in to the inner power that you have inside of you that's going to give you the permission to give yourself the fresh start you deserve. Before we get started, I'd like to remind everybody to get plugged in to my Restart ebook and join my 10-day Fresh Start Challenge. That is going to give you deeper understanding of why you're resisting the change it takes for you to move beyond the old and begin the new beginning that you really are looking towards. So the link is below to get plugged into that. And I'd also like to thank everyone that has commented, shared, done demonstrations of the Twin Flame Oracle deck. And I want to thank you all for your votes for the cover award for the Coalition of Visionary Resources. The winners will be announced soon, and I can't wait to share with you what's next. If you'd like to get your deck, you can order it in a link below. So the first fear that we're going to talk about that's blocking you from a new beginning, and probably the most common fear that people undergo, is asking themselves the question, what's going to happen next? This question stems from really deep inside of ourselves because this innate fear is really connected to our ability to trust ourselves, trust our knowing, trust our intuition, trust our beliefs, trust that we know and are willing to show up and stand up and speak up for ourselves, and that until we protect ourselves in that kind of way from a really deep ability to connect to who it is we are at the core of our being and trust that process and trust the higher self and trust the sense of the unknown, we are going to be stuck and blocked at this decision of, do I stay where I am or do I take action, and which action do I take? The problem with that is taking no action that is blocking you from being able to open up the gateway to tap into the intuition, the knowing, the vision, and the insight and awareness of what the next step is. You can't get past the step that is part of the mastery that your soul signed up to experience. So this boils down to trusting the process. And so I invite you to be able to, when you ask yourself next, what is going to happen next? What is next? To make a choice in the present moment to evaluate what is the split? What is in front of you? Is it that you, in this case in Twin Flames, that you are not at a place with the person you want to be with, that you saw and you were attached to, and you've learned how to detach, and now you don't know if you'll ever experience that kind of love again to the depths it is. You have to learn that the love you have within yourself is the love you create with other people, and to trust that you're not limited to love with one person. And that the more you begin to love yourself and connect with yourself and love all it is, the more in alignment that you happen to come with yourself, which helps you begin to get clearer on what the next step is for you. So the second fear that could be blocking you from starting a new beginning is asking yourself the question, or wondering, what kind of work will I have to put in to get where I want to go? And that is coming up for you because to get there requires change. And that means you have to commit to the change. And you have to know that there is a responsibility that is your responsibility and your choice and your choices that got you where you're at. And that it's the choices you made yesterday that are playing out in your life now. And while the choices you make today is actually creating what is next, and you don't really see what's next, but it's these choices in this moment that's going to create what is next. And so when you look at it from a standpoint of what's it going to take, and I've already done enough work, and I'm burnt out, and I'm tired of working on myself, and it's not paying off because I'm not getting the reward, because I'm not getting the twin flame. You have to realize that it's the repetition of consistency and time and action that creates the ability to bring it into form. And that takes a lot of commitment to what you choose, what you want, what you desire, and realizing that you are the creator. And it's a willpower inside that says that I am going to move beyond these obstacles. I am not going to stay limited. And a lot of times when it comes to this abundance concept, people think that in manifestation that I can put in the work and I can change my thoughts and I can change my feelings and I can operate from the spiritual dimension. And in that place, everything should just appear and everything should just show up. And don't get me wrong, it will, because I'm the first to tell you I've learned that. But that still requires you showing up in a physical place of putting in the work to bring it into form, because you are the creator. And, you know, as far as transformation and transforming who you are through this journey and the work that it takes to do that, and we definitely want to start to view it from an easier way and the new way. Overcoming the hard way, which is what I know I have spent most of my life doing it the hard way. I started working at 11 years old, and I worked my whole life really hard. And I'm learning the less I do, the more I can achieve. And that is because it's really bringing to the cream to the top. And it's really bringing up these nuggets of what is from the highest place. So when you find yourself in this place of resisting the work that you got to put in because you don't know the direction and you haven't committed to the change, and you've got these fears that's blocking you because you're afraid of the change that it's going to take place, which goes back to the only way you can get across this bridge is to take the action, and you're not taking action because you're fearful of the direction and not sure what that direction is that you're not going to see until you put in the work. Only then will it become clear. I invite you to pause and go into your heart and connect to your higher soul. And to ask the higher soul, what is the next step that represents my highest version of me from the highest good? And ask for clarity, crystal clear clarity. Now that is an action in itself, to trust your guidance and to trust your intuition and to connect to yourself, that you can believe and connect in a way that you can then become aware of it. And the minute you become aware of what that is, then that's 75% of it. The 25% is literally changing the pattern of thought and feelings and emotions that's blocking you from moving forward. So the third, and probably again, one of the most impactful fears is, will the world be watching me? The idea of what other people think and how they view us and how they see us and how they judge us basically is terrifying. Mainly because in this time and age, it's about us being authentic, different, breaking the mold, being the black sheep. And no one likes to look like a fool because they don't fit in or because they're doing something that looks different and like it's foolish. Right? Because some people can look back, it's not as bad now. We've overcame this a lot, but it's in the embedded persecution of the past. And I got to tell you, my whole life, I always fit into this place of being with the cool kids and then being with the ones that everybody made fun of. And I always represented this bridge between the worlds. And I fit in both. And I never talked about them. And this is a child. I would be in these cool cliques and never talked about the people that were different and mainly looked different or acted different or had different thoughts or interest. But in that, I actually resonated more with the people that were different, even though I didn't look different like the cool kids. And so it's kind of like I could fit in. That's a gift I feel like I have now, is I feel like I can fit in anywhere with anyone, down to how that resonates from our beliefs and our thoughts. But, growing up in a home that was very religious and being shown that sense of judgment and that there's only one way and the right way from my father's very strong, opinionated belief systems, I could look at that as like, oh, well, me. But I don't at all. In fact, now that he has passed, I feel more connected to him than ever. And I also can see that he actually taught me that dichotomy and that difference between him and I, that has shown me the path to be who I am and to step into my truth and my power and my voice, and to show up for myself in a place that I can speak my truth and that I don't have to fear and worry about what other people think. Now, I know that is easier said than done, but the more you accept you, and I'm going to say it again, the more you accept you, the more the world is going to accept you. And the fourth fear we're going to talk about is, what if I fail? What if I make a mistake? What if I don't have what it takes to be a healer or to be a good coach or to help someone? Or who am I to help anyone when I still have these issues and these problems and these things that I'm dealing with? How am I going to help anyone if I can't even get it right? If that is you and you're feeling those things, please put a message below and let's talk about that. Because there is nothing worse than you dimming who you are, dimming your gift, dimming your light, because you're afraid you will fail at what you came here to do. The only foolish thing you can do is not show up and do what it is you came here to do. You fake it till you make it. You show up real, raw, and authentic, and you just spill your guts to the world of like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm here and I'm going to share with you. You're going to inspire so many people. And your path is your purpose, and your purpose was meant for helping people and to be the inspiration. So I'm just going to say this because this energy is coming through me like lightning. Get off your ass and get to work. So the fifth fear we're going to talk about is the contrary of what if I fail? And that is, what if I get it right? What if I get it right? What if I'm successful? What if I am the innate being that I connect with God in such a way that I am deserving of the blessings that are trying to be bestowed upon me, and that being my gifts and talent and prosperity and relationships and fun and love? It is your birthright to tap into peace, prosperity, passion, pleasure, play, partnership, and prosperity in a way that your cup runneth over and that you are deserving. Because that's one of the things about this getting it right is that you're worthy to do it, which is overcoming the opposite of what if I get it wrong or I fail, which is not feeling good enough. You don't have to prove yourself. There's nothing to prove. It's about coming into the acceptance that I said of who you are and knowing that there isn't really even a right or wrong here. It's literally you being all that you came here to be, and that you can let go of these added expectations that you put on yourself that maybe come with, what if I get it right? And the ego that you think you're attached to, it is actually ego thinking you have an ego, that you can't have what you came here to experience because you're afraid it's ego. That is like the double-edged sword that's blocking you from being your best self. So I invite you to lay down the sword, lay down the fear of how abundant, how blessed, how bright, how bold, how beautiful, how connected you are to this essence of Christ consciousness, that you are a being of light and you came here to shine. You can't get that wrong. So the sixth fear, and probably the number one under everything that we just talked about, is what if I'm not good enough? And I kind of touched on this already, so I think we've been building into this one. And the key in this one is that no one is ever going to place as high of a demand of your performance as you on yourself. And so this sense of perfectionism needs to be out the window. It's progress, not perfection, and focus on how far you've come without the expectation of you need to be at a certain place or a certain status. And that's where we need to stay present. And that our perfectionism, we tend to think that equates to success. It also is the reflection of ourselves, of our own subconscious beliefs that we are not good enough. And why is that? Because you have not given yourself permission to be who you are at your realest, rawest, most authentic space and place of divine essence and the core of your being. That all of these things and all of these fears are directing you to you. Your twin flame is the reflection directing you to you. And the most successful you could ever be is start to taking the action that's going to get you from where you are to where you want to be, and giving yourself permission for this fresh start. So how do you do that? How do you move beyond the fear? And how do you start a new beginning? What do you do? Perhaps the answer lies in the words of Nelson Mandela. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear that he fears. So I leave you with 3 ideas that my great and late teacher taught me, Wayne Dyer. And that is, number 1, are you fearless enough to do what it is you came here to do? Fear comes from the mind and love comes from the heart. Always, always, always do what it is you came here to do with love. And the second thing, are you determined enough to do what it is you came here to do? There is always a way. When you believe it, you can achieve it. And when you have that inner drive within you that knows what it is you came here to do, and you really give yourself permission to connect to that, there is no stopping you. And number 3, are you willing to do what it is you came here to do? Be and have. That's an inner drive, an inner willpower, an inner connection to your soul that is ready to birth into this new beginning. And this is spiritual fitness that we are under. Another great teacher of mine, James Arthur Ray, just said last night in a group meeting that we were in, that nothing great ever comes easy. And while I can sit here and tell you, let's take the easy route, and that is not to resist it and to take action, that is the hard way. But the easy way is knowing that it's the transformation that takes place in this growth process that becomes why we go through the challenges to become more of who it is we came here to be. And so I encourage you to open up this idea, to make a list of your fears, to start to face them, and to know they are polishing you and they are helping you become your best version of you. And I send you nothing but love along the way. Please let me know in the comments how this has helped you. Make sure you get signed up for the 10-day challenge and download your free Restart ebook. And I will see you in the next video. May you always face your fears, find freedom, and glow forward on fire. Namaste.